You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a new museum hopes to connect with area residents with wildlife from around the globe.
Also, a Neosho barber is giving back to his community and hopes to support local businesses.
And we've got ourselves a cold but sunny start to the day. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Porter, just after 7 a.m. on this Monday, January the 13th, and I think some of us are still in weekend mode, and that's
always
perfect.
Working for the weekend.
Honestly, I'm right there with you. I definitely feel it. It is a bit cold out there, so you got to make sure you bundle up. And so a few years ago, I did a story in Humboldt, Kansas. About Humboldt itself, a very unique town, and they've got something else that's gonna. I went up there for their water wars, by the way. If you've never been for that, absolutely incredible, a great time, and now something else to give you another reason to visit.
A new addition, a museum in Humboldt, Kansas, is preparing to open its doors and give people a close-up look at nearly 300 different animals.
KOAM's Mitch Adams visited the museum to talk to its founder and find out more details about the new attraction.
A lot of these animals are record book stuff.
A small town in Kansas is now home to the Whitetails and Wildlife Museum. The museum, which features animals from countries like Africa, Canada, and New Zealand, was developed by a foundation run by Max and Carol Rickerson.
This is a large collection of whitetail deer, and I actually didn't harvest my first whitetail until 41 years ago, when I was 41 years old. But I hunted with my son, and he thought he was making a deer hunter out of me, and what he was doing is he created a monster.
Animal displays are paired with digital interactive screens with information about different species. Although hunting and harvesting these animals is Rickerson's passion, being present in nature is just as important to him.
As far as the hunt itself, it's the harvesting of the animal is not as big a deal to me as just being near to nature and being out there with them all.
The museum will serve as a place for wildlife education, but it will double as an attraction to boost tourism in a small town like Humboldt.
It will drive tourism, and I think the educational part for me and educating kids about wildlife and getting new hunters into the industry. A lot of young people never have their opportunity.
Most of all, Rickerson hopes that the community will benefit from the museum by sparking up early interest in wildlife.
Getting these young people started, I think, is important, and I think when they come through here and see some of this stuff and see the conservation end of it, it'll enlighten them and encourage them to try it.
In Humboldt, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Well, a ribbon cutting ceremony for the museum will take place this Thursday, January 16th.
Certainly a very unique museum that is being opened up there. Like I said, if you haven't been to Humboldt, take some time. A number of events happen throughout the year up there. There's a lot more, and Humboldt's not the only community like that. There are so many small communities in our area that have so much to offer. So if you're bored, you'll find something to do. I guarantee it.
Absolutely.
You may not want to do anything, though, that involves the outdoors, though, today, because it's winter. You may want to hold off on outdoors things for another couple of months because it's cold outside. Let's start with a look outside at the sunrise from our camera downtown Joplin on top of the Cornell complex. Looks great. Skies are clear. It just doesn't feel so fantastic again this morning. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin looking back toward the east. Again, another great shot of that sunrise this morning. And the KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue. You can see still some patchy snow out there, and that's going to be a thing on some rural roads, side streets within cities, back roads, things like that. Could still be some slick spots from the melting and refreezing, but main roads are in fairly good shape across the area. On to the future track we go. By this afternoon, clear skies, west winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Temperatures eventually making upper 20s and even some low to mid 30s, and further south, maybe even some upper 30s out there, and that's ahead of some warmer air. It's going to be working in later this week. By this evening, winds begin to shift out of the southwest for us. sitting at 13 in Joplin, 14 in Pittsburgh, and across the area. Again, we've got this Arctic, this little polar air mass just right over Kansas City, and that's filtering into our areas. We've got some low, mid, and upper teens out there. We've got 20 in Bentonville. It's the only 20-degree reading. You factor in even a light north breeze, and it's enough. It feels like 4 in Iola and Fort Scott, 5 in Stockton, Carthage, and Joplin. So definitely a chilly start to the day. Again, highs today, upper 20s, low to mid 30s, clear skies out there, and that west wind around 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're going to have a few clouds as we head over the next couple of days. We're also going to warm up over the next few days, just in time for the possibility, at least, of some additional wintry weather. Details on all that coming up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Joplin first responders battle a fire at a 2-story residence in Joplin Saturday morning. Just before 6 a.m. Saturday, reports of a fire came in for a residence with multiple units on South Connor in Joplin. Joplin Fire, Police, and Met's ambulance responded. No one was located inside the structure. Firefighters were able to get the flames under control quickly. The Joplin Fire Marshal arrived on scene to initiate an investigation into the fire. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, the Cornell Complex in Joplin hosts an artist talk with Ardith Goodwin with the works from her book series, The Predictably Unpredictable Tales from the Land of Ardithian. Over 85 of her paintings are on display in the Cornell Complex until March 1st. Goodwin went over her journey through art and her inspiration for tying art into her writing.
I love sharing the story behind the paintings and the journey that it took for me to get here, because I was formerly a school teacher and I had to go on disability. I've had 28 surgeries and it was soul crushing. But through that shift in my life, it brought me to art. And it was kind of a miracle in the sense of the more I painted, the more my body began to heal.
Goodwin also had an artist reception at the Cornell Complex. A barber shop in Neosho gave back to their community Saturday by hosting a winter market. Their mission is to support local businesses hoping to meet new customers. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us more details.
Charles's Old School Barbershop in Neosho, Missouri is hoping to encourage shopping local by hosting a winter market. The winter market gave local business owners the opportunity to sell their handmade items with no vendor fee.
So we had bid at an event on some space at the conservatory. It was a charity auction, and we wanted to use that to be able to give back to the community and throw an event that we didn't charge for.
The vendors were required to apply, but not required to pay a fee for their booth. John Michael Kershaw, the barbershop's owner, wanted to give back support to the local businesses that helped his own business grow.
We know not everybody has a storefront, and there's a lot of great local businesses, and we like to see everybody thrive. We started back in September at our barbershop, and when we opened it, the community support was just beyond what we could ever imagine, and it was amazing. So we wanted to be able to do something like that for the rest of the community and for all these great people we know that have helped supported us, and all these great businesses that people may not know about.
The main purpose of the winter market is to influence growth in the city of Neosho.
It's just great to be able to see it grow. So any opportunity we can give to people to be able to grow and help build the community that we love and that's helped build our business and make it as great as it's been, we want to be able to give that back. It's nice to see people support it and know that if we want to do something like this in the future, it'll be a good idea and help bring more support to Neosho.
In Neosho, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Live music was provided by the father-daughter duo Eric and Erica French, who are locals of Neosho. And that's a look at our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, the Pentagon is sending shockwaves through the gaming world with its release of companies working with the Chinese military. And later, authorities in North Dakota are singing the praises of 2 teens for their actions in helping find a missing woman. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. In Consumer Watch this morning, well, Disney announces a donation of $15 million to help people in Los Angeles recover from multiple wildfires. The Walt Disney Company says it is committed to supporting its community and employees to help recover from the devastation. The money is said to be donated to organizations including American Red Cross, the Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation, and the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank. Multiple Tesla vehicles hit the recall list due to potential rear view camera issues. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says more than 230,000 vehicles are linked to the recall. The agency says the vehicles could have a computer circuit board shortage that prevents the camera from displaying an image and increases the risk of a crash. Tesla plans to fix the issue through a software update as well as free computer replacements in any vehicles that had a circuit board failure. Well, the FDA says it's found the cause behind the deadly E. coli outbreak that impacted a McDonald's supplier. A CBS report says the FDA turned up violations of food sanitation procedures at a Taylor Farms food production facility in Colorado. FDA inspectors said they found biofilm and food debris on equipment. The agency says drying procedures were not followed and workers only sometimes used proper hand sanitation processes. Taylor Farms says it immediately addressed the issues and McDonald's ceased using Taylor Farms onions after the outbreak. The Pentagon added Tencent to a list of companies doing business with the Chinese military, sending shockwaves through the gaming world. Fox's Eamon Dignam has more.
International intrigue creeping into the gaming world this week as the Pentagon warns of a new threat from a gaming giant. Tencent Holdings has been added to a list of companies doing business with the Chinese military by the U.S. Department of Defense. It's part of an effort to address what the DoD describes as China's, quote, military-civil fusion strategy, which reportedly aims to blur the lines between China's civilian, commercial, and military sectors to create a cutting-edge military force. Tencent is well known for its online games and popular apps like WeChat. The company's success has led to its purchase of Riot Games, a major developer behind big hits like League of Legends and Valorant. Tencent also has significant investments in major gaming titles like Fortnite and exclusive rights to mobile versions of Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed. The White House and Pentagon have both raised concerns about data collection practices by companies involving American citizens. And while they didn't say specifically that's what Tencent was doing, there are similarities in their business model to other Chinese companies like ByteDance, which owns TikTok. Tencent says its inclusion on the list is a mistake. The company is actively appealing the decision. To keep up with this story and other gaming news, check out the Fox on Tech, Fox on Games podcast every weekend. In New York, Eamon Dignam, Fox News.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's coming up on 7:18 now on this Monday morning. We're going to start with the future track. Not much to show over the next few days. We'll have a west wind out there. Temperatures a bit below normal, at least through today, and we'll start to see some warming take place, but it'll take a little bit to get there. Overnight tonight, and through the late evening and then overnight, winds will shift out of the southwest on us. Clouds will begin to increase slowly, so we're talking mostly clear skies overnight tonight, and eventually partly to mostly cloudy as we head through the day on Tuesday. And as a little wave passes to our east, it will shift the winds out of the north. We're not expecting any precipitation, nor will it stop our warm-up, but again, we'll see that shift in winds. We'll see a similar situation from Tuesday into Wednesday. We're going to start the day partly cloudy, and as we head into the afternoon, eventually these clouds will begin to burn on off, and that will allow more of us to get a little bit warmer heading into the 40s for a few more locations versus what we'll see tomorrow, and of course, much better than what we're going to see for today. Right now, though, it is cold. Skies are clear, though. Looks great, but it doesn't feel great. 13 in Joplin feels like 4. With a north breeze at 6. That's what we've said before. It doesn't take much of a breeze when it gets really cold to bring that wind chill way down, and that's what we're seeing. We got this little Arctic air mass that's just to our north, and it's kind of getting filtered in by this light north wind. So we've got low, mid, and upper teens for most of us. The warmest spot right now is Bentonville, sitting at 20. And you factor in that light breeze, and it feels like it is 4 in Iola, 4 in Fort Scott, 5 in Stockton, 5 Joplin and Carthage as well. So we've got a very chilly start to the day. So if you're heading out, just make sure you're bundled up because it does feel cold. Now, again, it'll be a little better today, but you're still going to want a jacket because we're not talking 50s or 60s by this afternoon by any means. We'll have clear skies through today, 17-ish to start, around 26 by 11 o'clock this morning. And as we head into the afternoon, again, our highs, we're looking to be upper 20s, low to mid 30s. So still below normal, but not bad. But not as warm as what we were yesterday. We were into the low 40s across a good portion of the area yesterday afternoon. Sunny, as I mentioned, west winds 5 to 10. We head into the evening, clear skies through the evening, temperatures slowly dropping back, and we'll see a few clouds overnight. Most of us should be the mid-20s, but some upper teens will still be possible, especially in our northern counties, and we'll have that southwest breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. And then we head down the road, and we're going to be upper 30s, low 40s tomorrow and Wednesday, and then take a look at Thursday and Friday into the 50s, maybe even some upper 50s. Our southern counties could be getting close to 60 by Friday afternoon. But worry not, it's January. Mother Nature just giving a little break before she goes, all right, that's enough of a break. And we head into the weekend, temperatures begin to drop. Now we're going right back below normal. These chances, at least right now, are low. We're still several days away, but it's something we're going to keep an eye on as we watch for wintry weather Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. One guarantee, even if we don't see much in terms of wintry weather, those temperatures are expected to drop, and they are going to do so hard out there as we fall back into the teens for lows and 20s for highs. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Well, 2 North Dakota teens are being hailed as heroes after they helped rescue a missing woman on New Year's Day. They were out snowmobiling when they came across the woman's vehicle that was stuck in the snow.
The teens were honored for their actions during a ceremony on Wednesday. Lindsay Miller has more.
Brennan Osmondson and Owen Inman are your typical North Dakota teenagers. They play sports, snowmobile, and trap shoot. Their love for the outdoors led to some heroics on New Year's Day.
I knew that we had to act in that situation.
The teens were snowmobiling in a rural area when they noticed a vehicle stuck in the snow.
I saw him roll by kind of slow, and then I saw him get off and check in the car, and I thought, God, something must be going on.
They kept their cool and sprung into action.
Fear or panic couldn't set in because we were the responding force there.
Turns out, Brennan and Owen had found Faye Schaefer, who had gone missing the night before, prompting a silver alert. Faye's vehicle had run out of gas. Minot police officer Jordan Wilkes was at Schaefer's home when he got the call the teens had found her.
17 to 18 years old, doing what a lot of people probably wouldn't, and I think it's going to impact them for the rest of their future and stand as a witness of who they are.
Law enforcement honored Owen and Brennan Wednesday with Faye and her family present. Berthold Carpio Police Chief Al Schmidt says he's watched the boys grow up and was proud to present them with an Outstanding Citizen Award.
Makes me feel proud, that, I may have had a small influence in their life, but that they just acted without thinking.
Owen says they were planning to take a different route that day, but fate had other plans.
It was a real God moment there. I mean, God put that truck there, so we went the long way around. I thought, wow, this is kind of an inconvenience for us at the time, but it turned out to be a miracle.
Brennan says he didn't expect his small act to be so big.
I don't feel we really deserve any of this, but it's awesome that we were able to help.
Well, 2 teens say they will be paying closer attention to silver alerts and hope that others will as well. You do see those go out commonly, yes. And I'd be willing to bet there's quite a few people who probably just scroll right past. They don't give it a second glance, and sometimes that can be the difference between life and death.
It really can. Great efforts by them. Great to see.
Certainly so.
Well, coming up, President-elect Trump's cabinet picks take center stage as the Senate confirmation hearing takes place. We'll have the latest from Washington.
And it is a bit on the really cold side out there. We'll take a look at that forecast and talk about some slightly warmer weather on the way when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. I'm Elise Snowy. Well, Trey and Jim in Joplin hosted a pop-up shop Saturday as part of their community day. The parents were encouraged to bring their children who would do a 1-hour workout with the gym's athletic trainers. 3 shops were available for people to shop at, selling items from jewelry to hats.
They're small vendors trying to get their name out. We're a smaller community here trying to get our name out. So us being able to bring in, you know, a jewelry designer to a gym, they really aren't the same in that aspect. But bringing them in, we can kind of hit both fields there.
Pop-ups included Glitz and Glow, Bricks and Bry in January, and James. Well, Zumba and breweries aren't usually two things you think would go together. However, Chaos Brewing Company in Joplin hosts free weekly Zumba classes by a licensed Zumba instructor every Sunday in their community space. The free Zumba classes are a way to help keep the community active and build up the Joplin community. The classes are open to everyone, but you do need to be 14 years old or over to join. Well, the Main Street Axe Company in Joplin is kicking off its winter axe throwing tournament as part of the World Axe Throwing League. Contestants will throw 4 matches a week for 7 weeks, then compete in a best-of-3 double elimination tournament on the final week. Sunday's discipline was small axe, but contestants will also do big axe and duos.
You don't have to be a professional to do this. We have all skill levels participating in our league. If you want to join next week, we have others that are joining us starting the season next week too. So, but it's a place to have fun and challenge yourself at a skill to improve on each week.
Main Street Axe also hosts a fall tournament and also competes in the World Knife Throwing League. Well, a dress rehearsal for the inaugural ceremonies was held at the Capitol yesterday. The rehearsal includes run-throughs of the swearing-in ceremonies on the west front of the Capitol. And on the east front of the Capitol, the presidential review of troops. Now, stand-ins for President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance ran through the oaths of office. The 60th presidential inauguration will take place next Monday. Now let's head over to Chris with a look at your forecast.
Bit of a cold start to the day out there. It looks good though. Skies are clear. It just feels pretty darn cold, and we've got a bit of an Arctic air mass to our north. It's getting filtered in by some northerly winds out there. As our camera downtown Joplin on the Cornell complex, this is the MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline in Joplin, looking back to the east. Looks pretty good so far as well, as does the KDOT camera on 69 at East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. And still some patchy snow here and there. The main roads are pretty well good, but you still want to watch out for a few slick spots on some of those back roads and side streets within your city and stuff. They're clearing. We've had some melting, but then some of that refreezes and got a few slick spots here and there, but nothing too crazy, nothing like it was a few days ago on Friday as this was really getting underway here. All right, right now, into the afternoon. These are not our current temperatures. These are our temperatures later today, upper 20s, low to mid 30s. That's where our highs are headed with a west breeze at 5 to 10. Those winds begin to shift out of the southwest later this evening and overnight. No major impacts on our temperatures, but we will notice that wind shift. 13 is where we are right now in Joplin, 14 in Pittsburgh, and again, there's that Arctic air just almost on top of the Kansas City metro, and it's filtering in just a bit into our area thanks to that northerly breeze. So we've got temperatures this morning, low, mid, and upper teens with the warm spot of 20 in Bentonville, and then that light north breeze is just enough. Feels like 3 in Iola, 4 in Fort Scott, 5 Stockton, Lamar, Greenfield, and Joplin. So it does feel much colder out there, even with a light breeze. Now again, eventually upper 20s, low to mid 30s, clear skies, and those west winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're going to continue to actually warm up over the next few days, and then we could see some more wintry weather by this weekend. Details on all that here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Sky Watch Weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Sky Watch Weather app. With President-elect Trump set to take office next week, he's pushing Republican leaders in the Senate to confirm his cabinet nominees. Several of those hearings are set for this week, with Trump's pick to lead the Pentagon among those facing the most uncertainty. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera reports from Washington.
The Trump team wants the Senate to move quickly on President-elect Trump's nominee, so here's the schedule of hearings for now. Trump's choice to head the Department of Veterans Affairs, former Georgia Congressman Doug Collins, is up first Tuesday morning. But it's Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth who'll be closely watched that day. He'll be appearing before the Senate Armed Services Committee. Senator Elizabeth Warren, who serves on the panel, wrote a letter last week with more than 70 questions. She plans to ask Hegseth about the allegations of financial mismanagement and sexual assault against him, previewing how Democrats might approach the hearing. Hegseth has denied the allegations.
There is not a job that's more serious and more critical to our national security than Secretary of Defense, and we need a qualified individual in that job, and he just does not seem to have the qualifications.
On the Republican side, keep an eye out for Senator Joni Ernst. She and Hegseth have had a few meetings. Ernst promised a fair hearing but did not commit to voting for Hegseth. Still, the Senate Majority Whip is signaling some optimism for Hegseth.
He has a distinguished record of service in the military. Every senator gets to speak for themselves, and they will do that. The meetings have gone very well.
Other hearings scheduled for this week involve Secretary of State nominee Marco Rubio and Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi. Dates have yet to be set for Director of National Intelligence nominee Tulsi Gabbard and Health and Human Services Secretary nominee Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Both have been criticized by Democrats and Republicans, but the two have since backtracked on some of their more controversial positions on vaccination and government surveillance, for instance, as they try and shore up support in Congress. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A brother and sister fly together for the first time as commercial pilots. Well, the Grove Winter Concert Series is all set for this weekend. We have Brett Malone here with us from the Grove Convention and Tourism to share more about this wonderful, exciting event. Good morning to you, Brett. Happy to have you with us. So talk to me a little bit about this Winter Concert Series.
We've been doing this for about this will be our fourth year. We've brought in Ned Ledoux, Ricochet, Confederate Railroad, some ball knobbers from Branson. We just kind of, prove and show that Grove didn't die when the summer's over, and there's something to do in January. So this series here, we're kind of going to step back in time with remembering Hee Haw and the Platters. And the Platters will be kicking off this weekend, and then the next weekend will be the Hee Haw show.
Sure, fantastic. So for those who might not know what the Hee Haw show is, talk to me a little bit about that as well.
I mean, Hee Haw was something, when I grew growing up with my grandparents or whatever, you just go watch them and watch them on TV. And so this show, what they're going to be doing is kind of bringing the set to Grove. They started this in 2019 and tried to get it going, and it was going strong, and COVID hit. So we're going to try to rebrand this and get it going again. We have Jenna J coming. We've got Rex Allen Jr., Buck Owens' son, Buddy's coming, Earlene Mendrell, Misty Rowe, and then this weekend we just found out Pippi Longstockings wanting to be part of this as well.
Oh, how
so
fun.
She's coming down. So we're just going to have a good time, and
yes.
The cornfield will be over on the side. There'll be some great music and stuff like that. So it's going to be just a remembering when type event.
Absolutely. And for this concert series, this weekend, talk to me. You said you've been doing it for quite a few years now. Just how great is it to just see it continue to grow?
It is. It's fun. And as being the fourth year, we're kind of being able to relax a little bit because we know what to expect. And but this event that we're looking at is going to be great. And the other ones were fun as well. But man, it's just I can't wait to just kind of remember and see some of these people play and do stuff that they used to do, and it's an exciting time. So as it grows, it's great to watch.
Absolutely. And for those who don't want to miss out on this exciting event, talk to me about the date, time, location, and ticket prices as well, please.
So Saturday, the gates will open at 6. You can get tickets at the City of Grove OK.gov website, or go to Janet J's Galleria. They're in Grove, and you can buy tickets in person there. You can also purchase tickets at the gate. We just would rather that not have a big long line. So if you can't get there to Janet J's or anything like that, just come in. We'll get you set up. And we also have VIP tickets for sale as well. They're $25 on top of your original purchase. So it's, and then I guess it would be the next Saturday, next week, will also be the same time, 6 o'clock. Doors open, and 7 o'clock shows start.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you, Brett, so much for being with us this morning. Be sure to check out their Facebook page for more details. Chris will be back with a full look at your forecast right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up on 7:44 on this Monday morning. It is Monday. It's January. It's cold, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Some of you, again, you like the cold. Great. I don't. I'm ready for spring. Not summer, necessarily, okay? But I am ready for some slightly warmer temperatures, and we'll get a little preview of that later this week. As for today, though, we're going to have those west winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. We are going to have sunny skies to go along with it. Temperatures, though, a little chilly, a little chillier than yesterday as well. We're looking at capping out into the upper 20s and low 30s. We'll have a few clouds overnight tonight, and then as we head towards sunrise tomorrow, we'll start to see a few more clouds, so partly to mostly cloudy skies. Winds initially out of the southwest as we start Tuesday, but then a little wave is going to pass just to our east, and that'll shift our winds out of the north. It will not impact our temperatures, which is good. We don't need it any colder. But we will notice that wind shift as we head into Tuesday afternoon. We'll have a few clouds here and there, go partly cloudy Tuesday night into the first part of Wednesday. And as we head into Wednesday afternoon, temperatures warm again, winds back out of the south, and we'll start to see those clouds just flutter away, which will allow many of us to be a bit warmer by Wednesday than we will be today or tomorrow. Quick look outside, still some snow. Eventually, by the time we get to the end of this week, it'll be gone, just in time for something else. We'll talk about that in a moment. Clear skies, 13 in Joplin, 4 is what it feels like with a north breeze at 6. We got this Arctic just bubble right over KC, and we're getting a north wind off of that, which is bringing some of that cold air into our area. So right along I-49 and 69, it's almost like it's traveling right through there because it's a little warmer here, a little warmer there, but right along it, much colder. We've got low, mid, upper teens with 20, Grove and Bentonville. Those are the two warm spots this morning. But then you factor in, again, even just a light breeze, feels like 3 in Iola, 4 in Fort Scott. We got 5s in Lamar, Joplin, and Stockton. So, again, some single digits out there. It is a pretty cold start to the day for many of us, but it will eventually warm up a hair. We'll go 17 to start, clear skies, 26 by 11 a.m. And again, our highs today, upper 20s, low to mid 30s with the clear skies and west winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into the evening, we're clear, temperatures slowly dropping, eventually back into the mid 20s, but some of us could make the upper teens, especially our northern counties, as southwest winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, here comes the fun part, because it is fun. It's a lot going on in just a short amount of time, because it's winter and it's the 4 states. Low 40s, upper 30s tomorrow. Upper 30s, low 40s again on Wednesday. 50-ish by Thursday. Mid-50s by Friday, maybe even some upper 50s in our southern counties. And then Mother Nature says, hope you enjoyed. You got a chance to melt because I'm going to do it again. Now, these chances right now into the weekend for precipitation are low, but we are looking at two things actually. The possibility of some wintry weather into this weekend, start of next week, and temperatures dropping. Now, one thing is certain, at least on the long-range data, the temperatures are going to drop. It's going to get bitterly cold again, but we'll have to keep an eye on this wintry precipitation and see what may or may not come of it as we head into the upcoming weekend. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, a flight out of Charlottesville, Virginia had an unusual situation. A brother and sister duo at the controls piloting their very first commercial flight together.
Brenna Kiefner was there and has more on the story.
My name's Captain Bailey, and today I'm assisted by very special First Officer Caitlin James, my sister.
Dozens of flights fly in and out of Charlottesville's airport each day. But it is very rare to have a brother and sister be co-pilots on a flight, and it's even more of a coincidence to have their parents be a part of this special moment.
The stars aligned, and it was just kind of nice and refreshing to fly with one of my favorite first officers.
Brother and sister Bailey and Caitlin James both had the itch to become a pilot from a very young age.
I was actually first inspired by my big brother, who was my first flight instructor when I was in high school, and ever since then it's been my dream.
I take every opportunity I can, just kick off the autopilot, do some hand flying, do some of that old-fashioned, just reading the instruments, basic attitude, and all that pilot stuff. I just really love that.
Neither imagined, though, that they would be able to experience flying a plane together until a few weeks ago.
It's great. It's just like when I first instructed her. I taught her private, and it just feels like back in the old days. So I'm just so impressed with how far she's come.
Because we both have a shared goal of working together and getting everyone there safely. It also just makes it extra special and fun because we both are so passionate about flying airplanes and being in the air that it makes it really enjoyable to do something with someone that you know cares so much and you both have a good time and enjoy doing it.
The flight left Dulles International Airport, flew to Charlottesville Albemarle Regional Airport, and then back to Dulles. The James siblings said they would not have wanted to experience this special moment with anyone else.
It's kind of hard not to say she's my favorite. She does great work and she's come a long way. And like I said, I'm just so impressed.
You know, we don't get to spend much time together, and being with each other and being with family is always so important. It's an important thing to commute air as well, so we really appreciate them doing this.
And they hope that there will be many more flights like this in the future.
That's very cool.
It's extraordinary. Well, you saw it was kind of cold where they were at there, but it is very, very unique, very, very exciting opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't think the reporter actually flew in the aircraft, though, which that's all right. I could do that.
Right.
I'm not flying in a plane.
You can just go on.
I don't even know if I could walk onto the plane.
Really?
To be honest. I don't know that I could. We're going to have to put this theory to the test at some point.
Might as well.
Oh, gosh. It could be bad. But what isn't too bad is the fact we're going to see more sunshine. And that will lead to some additional melting out there. Quick look at the future track again. As we head through today, we'll have those west winds out there, sunny skies, eventually shifting out of the southwest overnight. And then they'll shift out of the north with the passing of a little wave off to our east. It will not bring us any kind of precipitation, but it'll bring us a north breeze, and eventually, believe it or not, we're going to start to warm up a little later in the week. One more quick look with those temperatures. First off, we got those clear skies, Arctic air kind of sitting over the KC Metro, and that's filtered into parts of our area. So we've got low, mid, and upper teens with a couple of 20s, Grove and Bentonville. That light north breeze makes it feel like 3 in Iola, 4 in Fort Scott. A number of communities right along that zone within the single digits for those wind chills this morning. 17 to start, sunny skies. Sunny skies continue, 26 by 11 o'clock this morning. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Well, just before 6 a.m. Saturday, reports of a fire came in for a residence with multiple units on South Connor in Joplin. Firefighters were able to get the flames under control quickly. The Joplin Fire Marshal arrived on the scene to initiate an investigation into the fire. No one was located inside the structure. A museum in Humboldt, Kansas is preparing to open its doors and give people a close-up look at nearly 300 different animals. The museum was developed by a foundation run by Max and Carol Rickerson. Animal displays are paired with digital interactive screens with information about different species. A ribbon cutting will take place Thursday, January 16th. And Train Gym in Joplin hosted a pop-up shop Saturday as part of their community day. Parents were encouraged to bring their children who would do a 1-hour workout with the gym athletic trainers. And their 3 shops were available for people to shop at, selling items from jewelry to hats.
And it's going to be cold out there today. We're talking upper 20s, low to mid 30s, west breeze 5 to 10 with sunny skies. Clear skies through the evening, a few clouds overnight. Back into the 20s, maybe some upper teens as well. Then we start to warm up a bit. Check it out. Upper 30s, low 40s Tuesday, Wednesday, 50s Thursday and Friday. And after a nice little reprieve from the cold, we kick right back into winter mode with maybe some wintry precipitation heading into the weekend and temperatures dropping once again. Now, the wintry precipitation, still some questions out there. We'll keep an eye on it. One thing there, unfortunately, are not any questions about is that cold air. It's going to get bitterly cold again.
Alrighty. Well, today is National Rubber Duck Day, all thanks to Ernie from Sesame Street. Ernie's famous Rubber Ducky song became a hit and reached number 16 on Billboard's Hot 100 singles chart in 1970.
Rubber duckies are also used for the world as symbols to raise money for medical research and charitable organizations. In 2013, the rubber ducky became an inductee of the Toy Hall of Fame. They're also located on various Jeeps. Look at all those rubber ducks.
Look at them go.
Oh, well, they do make bath time lots of fun.
They do. What? I don't know the song. I don't know what to tell you. Did you say you said 1970?
Okay, yes. And how old do you think I am?
I think that's a question we might need to
I
ask
am
tomorrow.
cultured. I'm sorry. Well, I'm going to educate her on the finer points of Sesame Street. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.